So this last video is going to be an Excel portion. So this should just be for the accelerated students working on these last 4 problems. And before we get started, okay, I'm going to repeat myself twice because I don't want to get the same question 100 times. Yes, the final, like one of the questions, the image is missing. And in one of the questions, there's not an equation, okay? I'm gonna take care of all that. Watch the video, okay? And I'm gonna give you the equations that I want you to use. So on 21, it's normal. It says find each measure is indicated, round to the nearest tenth. And right here, it says find measure of angle B. And I gotta think about what I have, okay? I'm looking for B right here. And I'm gonna label my sides. So opposite of B is that's side A and that's side C. I have angle C and side C. So I can use law of sines. So let's write this out. Oh, for some reason it worked. There we go. So the law of sines tells me that sine B over B is equal to sine of angle C over C. So let's write that out. So I'm looking for B. So sine B over 30 is equal to sine of 109 over 37. And then I just cross multiply here. So 37 sine B equals 30 times sine 109. I'm going to put in parentheses sine 109. And here's a really helpful tip. Do not type anything in until your variable is completely isolated, okay? So in this case, first thing I'm going to do is, don't calculate anything, I should say. I'm going to divide by 37 on both sides because I'm trying to get B by itself. So I have sine B equals 30 sine 109 over 37. And then here, my B is kind of trapped by sine. Okay, I need to undo sine somehow, which is just the inverse of sine. So sine is -1 on both sides. So sine to the -1. So B is going to be equal to the inverse sine. Okay, and one thing to make sure on your calculator that you are in degree. It defaults to radian, so you go down to degree in mode. So that mode button right there beside the blue button, you'll change it to degree, go out, and then, so second sine, so sine to the -1 of, I'm going to put my fraction here, let me remember what this is, 30 sine of 109, 30 sine of 109 over 37, just make sure that's correct. Oop, wrong thing. Yep, over 37. Let's see what that gives me. So 50.05, round that to the nearest tenth. That will be 50.1. And it's measurement of angle, so 50.1 degrees. Okay, 22. Now, here's the one where I'm going to have 100 questions. Please just watch this. I'm going to draw the triangle here that I want you to use. So we got C, A, B, 30 yards, 27 yards, and then I know the angle C is 127, okay? So 127 degrees. And I can rewrite this to make it more obvious, 127 degrees. So what I need here, and this should be a capital A, it says use the law of cosines, solve for the missing angle, okay? So to be able to do that, I need to use this equation here to be able to solve for it. However, I have a little bit of an issue, okay? My issue here is that I don't know all the things that I need to, okay? Because you can see here that this, I'm going to write it in red, this is side C, this is side A, this is side B. I need to know side C here to be able to plug it into this equation here, okay? So I'm actually going to have to use the law of cosines twice. So first thing I've got to do is find C. That's my first goal. So the equation for that is going to be C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2 times AB, and then times cosine of angle C. So here, what I'm going to do then is just write it out like that. So C squared is going to be equal to A squared, which is 30. So 30 squared plus 27 squared minus 2 times A 30 times 27. And then cosine of angle C, which is 127, okay? And the nice thing is, when you're solving for the side here, I've already got it isolated, so I'm just gonna take the square root of all of this, okay? So C is gonna be equal to the square root of all of this. So let me slowly type that in my calculator. I have to go back and forth a couple times probably. So I've got the square root of, was it 30 squared or 27 squared first? 30 squared, yep. So 30, oh crap, I forgot the square root, my bad. So 30 squared minus 27, not minus, Lord have mercy, y'all, bear with me here. I'm having to flip back and forth a lot. 30 squared plus 27 squared minus 2 times 30 times 27, just making sure my numbers are correct so far. So 30 squared plus 27 squared minus 2 times 30 times 27, and then cosine of 127. Cosine of 127. Okay, so when I type that in, that tells me that that side is basically 51.03. Okay, so for around that, 51.03. So side C is 51.03, and I'm gonna write that here. So 50 and 51.03. So now I'm gonna erase all this just so I have room. Now, let's do it all again, except for with the original file, like what we're looking for. We're looking for A, okay? I know this is long. So I've got A squared equals B squared plus C squared. That's 2BC cosine of A. Let's fill in what I know. I know A squared. It's gonna be 27 squared minus 27 squared equals B squared. So what is B again? Oh wait, I did this backwards, sorry. A is 30. It's helpful to look at your chart here. And B squared is 27, there we go. Plus 51.03 squared minus 2 times B is 27 squared, and then C is 51.03 times cosine A. Okay, so I'm starting to combine all these things. I'm gonna have 30 squared is 900, 27 squared plus 51.03 squared is going to give me 333.0609 minus 2 times 27 times 20, times 51. 51.03 is going to give me
Well, never mind. You'll hear your chat. Just respond to that whenever you
okay, so 2755.62 cosine A So now I'm going to subtract over on this side. So let's do that minus here. It's going to give me negative 243.3.0609 equals negative 275.62. I'm going to divide by that on both sides. So when I'm looking at this, I'm just going to divide this. 2,433. Okay, and that result is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave this as this fraction. I'm going to take the cosine on both sides. I'm going to inverse cosine to get a by itself. So cosine is a -1, both sides. So I'm going to get a. Sorry, this one's a long one. It's roughly going to be to the nearest, make sure. So to the nearest tenth, it's 28.000. So that's going to give me that angle. A is going to be equal to 28. So 28 is my answer here. Like I said, I know that's long. So I'm just going to erase some here. And another one that's different here is it says find the inverse of the matrix given by writing system of equations. Okay.
You send Kendall Williams and Victoria Gibbs to the front office for a moment.
So when I look at this, what I'm going to be doing is just finding the inverse, okay? So if I have a matrix A, which is A, B, C, D, okay? What I'm going to do is flip A and D. So for the inverse, it's going to be flipping A and D. So D, A, and then I just flip the sign or negate the other diagonal. And I'm going to multiply that by 1 over the determinant, okay? So 1 over the determinant times this changed fraction, okay? So let's find this piece by piece, okay? My determinant, so for my determinant, I'm going to have 2 times 7 minus -9 times -1. You just do, like up here you can see, you just do 2 times 7, like the diagonals times each other and subtract the result. It's going to be 2 seconds here. Two seconds. So when I do this, that gives me 14 minus 9, which is 5, okay? So when I'm writing out my inverse here, I'm going to have 1 over 5 because it's 1 over my determinant here, okay? I'm going to flip 7 and 2, so 7 is going to go here, 2 here, and then I'm going to flip the signs of the other diagonal, so -1 becomes 1, and -9 becomes 9. And the nice thing is, usually you would have to distribute this 1/5 on there, but on the final, giving you a hint ahead of time, is it's going to leave it in this form right here. So you're finished once you get it to there. Okay. So give me 2 seconds here. So the function that I want us to use on 24 is this. F of x equals 1 over x minus 4 plus 5. Okay. And remember, I find where my asymptotes go, like where they meet. I go right 4 because of that. So I go right 4. And that's going to be here. So boom. And then up 5 is my other one. So my function is going to look something like this right here. Okay. So I know that's the general shape. Okay. So I go right 4 for the negative 4 and then up 5. And that's where the asymptotes are going to meet. My vertical asymptote is x equals 4. My horizontal is y equals 5. And then for any holes, it's whatever the domain cannot be equal. So it's a function. But really what you're going to look for is just this generic shape. This, like, knowing where the asymptotes meet should tell you basically most of the stuff that you're going to need to know. So